Hello and welcome to English Comp 2 at Lakeland Community College. My name is Professor Weaver and I will be with you over this 8-week class to get you up to speed and ready to go learning all of the argumentation and research skills you need to put together an academic 10 to 12 page researched argument, which is the end result of our 8 weeks of work in this class. This video is designed to give you a short overview of where you can find things in Blackboard and how our class is laid out. I think at this point, most of you have at least had one online class before, although if you haven't, don't worry, you'll figure this out pretty quickly. But every instructor lays their class out a little bit differently, no different than an in-person class would lay out each class a little bit differently. So, the first thing you need to do, now you've made it to this video, so maybe you've already done the first thing you need to do, which is to log into Blackboard, find our course, open it up. You'll notice that the announcements page is the first thing. I use a lot of announcements, at least once a week, but usually more often. So make sure that you read any new announcements very carefully. This one is a welcome announcement, and it tells you what you need to know to get started. The next thing you need to do in our class is click over here on the How to Get Started link. Again, if you're in this video, maybe you've already done this. The How to Get Started link is a checklist of stuff that you need to do once you log in the first time and want to get working on our class. This includes where to click, what to read, what to look at, and how to upload a picture. I really want you to try to upload a picture. Most students are able to do this successfully, and if not, maybe the help desk can give you a hand. This doesn't have to be a picture of yourself, although it sure helps, honestly. You know, it's no different than sitting in a regular class. People just want to see who they're talking to. If you decide to do that, a really up-close shot works, because the only place this really shows up is on the discussion board, and it's super tiny. But you could also put a picture of your pet or a soccer ball, whatever you want, as long as it's not a copyrighted image and that it's academically appropriate. This helps people keep track of who you are. You know, most of the time people start reading each other's drafts or looking at, for particular people on the discussion board, and having that image really helps give us a sense that we are actual people over here and not just robots behind a computer screen. Okay, after you've read through the How to Get Started, you're going to navigate your way around some of these items over here on the left. Now I say on the left because I'm using a laptop. I highly recommend that you use a computer rather than a mobile device whenever you can, especially rather than a phone. It's laid out a little bit differently. The mobile version on phones and on the app is really deadline driven. All it really wants to show you is what's due next. It doesn't lay things out the way that I've laid them out, and it doesn't always include my descriptions. Like, for example, over here, it could potentially say next start here, but without this information. Or in a link, it might say watch this, but then it doesn't say what you need to do to look at it. So again, when possible, laptop, use the mobile apps kind of as a backup. My contact info is over here too. My office hours are remote right now. You can find out more here. Email is the #1 best way to get a hold of me, to talk back and forth, to hash out ideas. If there's something that we need more in depth than email, we can set up a time to do a WebEx or a phone call if you're more comfortable with that. So again, use my email. That's the #1 best way to get a hold of me at all times, but especially during office hours. Now, on that left-hand side, you'll also see a syllabus and a calendar. Obviously, read the syllabus carefully. You have a quiz over the syllabus the first week. The calendar is something that I'm going to suggest that you print for our class. This calendar includes everything that's worth a grade. So if it's assigned a point in a class, it is on this calendar. Now, there are bunches of links that you're going to have to read that aren't assigned points. That's somewhere else in the class. This will help you if you print off this document, if you're able to. It will let you cross off each thing as you complete it, and then you make sure that you don't miss anything that's worth points. All right. If you ever see a discrepancy, if it says something somewhere about a due date and it says something different here, or that it says there's supposed to be a quiz but it's not showing up, please email me. Every now and again I make mistakes. There are a lot of different places to click on Blackboard, as you know. I'll give you grace when you make mistakes. Please do the same for me, and also please inform me if I've made a mistake so that I can fix it. It keeps everything moving really smoothly for the whole class. All right, so print this, read this. The other main place for there's a couple main places, but one of the main places is also this thing over here on the left called weekly plans. In our class, you'll get one new plan every week, and it will show up at the end of the week. So right now, it's the week 1 plan. These are set up the same every time. At the top, you're going to see some learning objectives, what it is, what's the point of doing the work this week. That's what those are. The schedule. Our schedule, as you can see on that calendar, is heavy on Monday, Wednesday, Friday work, and it has some Sunday due dates. All right, that's not to say that you have to complete them on the specific date. You can work ahead. You can work early. You can't work late. I don't take stuff late. The first week, I make some exceptions to that rule, but from there on out, unless it's a major assignment like an essay, I'm not going to be able to take it late. So stay on track. We only have 8 weeks. We're going to get 16 weeks worth of work finished in that time, so it's got to be on time. Okay. You're going to notice over here that again, the Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So if you wanted to, you could complete work on Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday. You could, some students try to get everything done the weekend before, if they can. Now, sometimes if you need to rely on your peers to upload work before you can finish your work, like in peer review or doing discussion responses, you might not be able to get it all done on one day. You might have to have other people wait till other people submit and then get it done. Even if you do your work early, make sure you're checking back for announcements, updates, responses to your discussions, that kind of work as well. But again, there's some flexibility within the week, but it has to get done. This is not a self-paced class, okay? So this is going to list your Monday, Wednesday, Friday due dates. Like it says here, that first week I'm flexible. If this class starts on a Saturday, first deadlines are Monday. If you're first seeing this on a Tuesday and you're like, uh-oh, I'm already behind, it's true, you are already behind. But the first week I'll let you go ahead and get caught up. So again, Saturday, if you don't get the first week's work done by Saturday, you're going to be reported as non-attending, which is bad for your financial aid, but you also won't be able to make any of that work up. So make sure that you're on top of things and that after this first week, everything's on time. Or early. Early's better. That way, if life gets in the way, you don't have to worry about it. Your power goes out, you get called into work, the kid's sick. Working ahead gives you time to kind of just manage life's challenges, which, as you know, are more challenging these days than they had been in the past. Okay. This is going to say everything you need to do. So you've already done some of this. Review how to get started, read the syllabus and the calendar, read 8 strategies. Notice that if there's a link or something, it'll be down here. You may have noticed you did not purchase a textbook for this class. There's a reason for that, partly because they're super expensive, but partly because I'm trusting you to do the reading through the links here, okay? Now, there are more links than there would be if you had a textbook. So because instead of saying open up, read 3 chapters, I'm going to give you equally high-quality materials through the links. So make sure you read those. So if it says it up here, you can usually find it down here. All right, complete quiz on syllabus, calendar, and 8 strategies. Here's the quiz. Open it up, take a look. The quizzes in our class are not designed to trip you up or be difficult. There aren't a ton of them. They're usually just to make sure that you're doing the reading. So make sure you're doing the reading. Okay. If you have any trouble with a quiz, if it shuts down or something, shoot me an email. It also says to read the discussion guidelines. So you're going to find those here. Complete the introduction discussion board post. You're going to find that over here on the discussion board. So when you click on the discussion board, the first thing you're going to see, again, is those guidelines so that you never lose them. You're going to see an open questions. That's just, hey, here's a place to ask a question that you think would be of use to the whole class. I'll respond to these, but if you see them, also respond to them too. That's helpful. And then you're going to see that there are 2 week 1 posts. The first is the intro post. That's the one that should be done on Monday. And the second is the paper topics post. So read these very, very carefully, and when you're ready to post, when you've read through this and you're ready to do your post, click on the name of it, week 1, intro post, and then click create thread. Right, that's going to give you an open space to do this. Write your subject line, review the discussion guidelines. Subject lines are 10% of your discussion grade. I take them seriously. They should be super specific. And then you type your post here. You can spell check, you can change a little bit of stuff, although I wouldn't. Some people prefer to write these in Microsoft Word or Google Docs or wherever you're working and copy and paste into here. You can do that. It sometimes messes with your formatting. So what I usually do is write them here, but right before I post, I copy it. I highlight it all and hit Control-C. I'm on a PC to copy it, and then I post. And if anything messes up, and it like times out or Blackboard shuts down, weird stuff happens, I can always still have that saved somewhere, like because it's on my copy. So I'll open it up a document, right click, paste, be done with it. and I can start over. So just to have a backup for them isn't a bad idea. Every now and again, weird stuff happens with Blackboard. Okay, so I would type I would put in my information here. Then I would go down to the bottom of the screen and click submit. Now you're going to see that you're here. I don't know why it's not showing my, oh, it's because I'm on student view. I didn't know I wasn't showing my picture. I usually have a picture, but it's because I'm in the student view. I guess I don't have a student picture. But you'll see that it's here. It'll show what time you updated. If you edit it, it changes the date, but don't worry, I can see your original time. So you wouldn't have to worry about that. So there you go. Once you want to read your peers' post, once there's other stuff here, you'll be able to just click on their post. Whoops again, I don't know why it's not doing that. Click on the title of their post, I should say here. It'll take you inside their post. You can hover over here and click reply. It's giving me the option to edit or delete because it's my post. You'll have an option to edit your own. So again, I would just click reply here. If I'm replying to a peer, I would put my stuff here. Notice that it does have a word counter, and you have word count specifications in the discussion guidelines. So you need 200 word initial posts, 75 word responses. So this is a way to keep track of that information. All right, so that's the discussion board. We're going to be back there a lot. You're going to spend a lot of time on the discussion board. This is also where we're going to do peer review. Let's see, what's last? The papers tab is where you are going to see your paper assignments. Now I've opened every paper up, every folder up for the whole semester. I can't promise that I won't make tweaks, that, you know, the paper 3 sample, I might change it when we get closer to writing paper 3. I might update the directions just a little bit, but I've left them there just in case you want to get a preview of what to expect. The first thing we're doing is this topic approval. You'll have plenty of time to read through all of that. All right, so that's the technical side of Blackboard. I think you're going to enjoy this class. It's a lot of work, but because it's in the 8-week format, but I hope that you choose a subject that you're super passionate about. We're going to do a problem solution. You're going to read all about this in the week 1 plan. You're going to have so many examples that you won't know what to do with them. But the idea is there some problem, some concern, something that could be improved in your community, right? So I'm not talking about on a global scale. I'm not talking about on a national scale. I'm talking about where you live, work, have your hobbies, go to school, what have you. Is there something that could be done better? What kind of problems are there? What are the negative consequences of those problems, right? Is it, you know, anyway, I don't want to get too into it because this video will go on to an hour. But find something that you're passionate about. Keep it narrow and small. We're going to research that topic all semester. We're going to look at what causes that problem. What are some of the influences that have led us to a place where we have this problem? What can we do about it, right? So the first half of the term can be a little bit depressing sometimes because you're reading what happens because of the problem. What are the negative consequences? What are the impacts? But the second part, we're going to start looking at what can we do, right? If we're looking at practical solutions, what's something small that the community can do? Not change a law, although sometimes it's great if you can change a law, but in the absence of that, what can we do as a community while we're waiting for those processes to happen? How can you improve your community in some way through a practical proposal? That's what we're going to work on over the 8 weeks. How do I research that? How do I convince an audience of it? How do I have argumentation strategies that where I will be taken seriously in academic contexts and in community contexts? So that's what we're going to work on over the next 8 weeks. So stay focused, stay engaged, work hard, stay in touch. Email. If you would raise your hand in class, or if you would hang back and ask me a question after class in an in-person class, send me an email. There are no dumb questions except the one you don't ask. So anyway, you're not bothering me if you email me. It's a good thing. We should be in communication all semester. Meanwhile, I'll see you on the discussion boards, and good luck this first week.